I ask unanimous consent the quorum be dispensed with.
Without objection.
Madam President, news of the Qatari government gifting Donald Trump a $400 million private jet to use as Air Force One is so corrupt that even Putin would give a double take. This is not just naked corruption, it is also a grave national security threat. So in light of the deeply troubling news of a possible Qatari-funded Air Force One and the reports that the Attorney General personally signed off on this clearly unethical deal, I am announcing a hold on all DOJ political nominees until we get more answers.
Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. This is Conservative Chronicle, where truth, freedom, and the Constitution still mean something. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on what the mainstream media won't tell you. All right, Patriots, let's talk about the latest outrage coming from the Democratic machine, specifically Senator Chuck Schumer, who just gave a fiery speech calling for Attorney General Bondi to testify before Congress. Why? Because of a so-called gifted plane from Qatar to President Trump. He calls it naked corruption. He calls it a national security threat. Well, let me tell you what this really is. It's a full-blown political stunt, a desperate move by the left to distract from their own failures, their own corruption, and their own inability to lead this country in a direction that actually benefits Americans. Let's break this down piece by piece, because what Schumer is saying sounds dramatic, but as usual, it's all smoke and mirrors.
Here are some questions that must be answered. First, I call on the DOJ's Foreign Agent Registration Act Unit, or the FARA unit, to do its job and disclose all activities by Qatari foreign agents inside the U.S. that could benefit President Trump or the Trump Organization. Since Attorney General Bondi took charge, the Department of Justice has not been doing its job when it comes to FARA. The FARA unit needs to enforce the law and inform the public of all activities, not just on this luxury plane deal, but all deals involving foreign countries in the Middle East and President Trump, his family, and the Trump Organization. Second, with regard to this $500 million private jet deal, the American people deserve to know the facts. President Trump has told the American people this is, quote, a free jet. Does that mean the Qataris are delivering a ready on day one plane with all the security measures already built in? If so, who installed those security measures? And how do we know they were properly installed? Why would we take the risk of trusting any foreign country to do this sensitive work? If not, what security modifications would be needed to ensure a foreign-sourced Air Force One is safe to use? If this is, as President Trump promised, a free jet, will the Qataris pay for those highly sensitive installations, or will American taxpayers cover the cost? How much will those modifications cost American taxpayers? Hundreds of billions of dollars? Hundreds of millions of dollars? Billions of dollars? How much will they cost? If the American taxpayers are forced to pay for this temporary plane, does it mean the U.S. government will cancel the contract for the future Boeing plane? If so, how much will that cancellation cost? And if not, why are American taxpayers being asked to spend hundreds of millions of dollars or more on a plane that will only be used for a year or two? Additionally, who in the Trump administration was responsible for this crooked deal? What are the parameters of this deal? And which country brought it up first, us or them? What is Qatar being offered in return? Considering past security disasters, such as the U.S. Embassy in Moscow, what are the security risks of this arrangement? And finally, how is this gift not naked corruption? The Attorney General must testify before both the House and Senate to explain why gifting Donald Trump a private jet does not violate the Emoluments Clause, which requires congressional approval, or any ethics law. So, Until the Attorney General explains her blatantly inept decision and we get complete and comprehensive to these and other questions, I will place a hold on all political nominees to the Department of Justice.
First off, where was this level of scrutiny when the Clinton Foundation was raking in millions from foreign governments while Hillary was Secretary of State? Or when the Bidens were doing shady business in Ukraine and China? Oh, wait, silence. Crickets. Total media blackout. But now, suddenly, they care because Donald Trump, who left office, by the way, is allegedly being gifted a plane by Qatar, a plane he can't even use in any official capacity? Please. The man built a global brand on luxury and aviation. He doesn't need handouts, especially not from foreign governments. And let's be real, if Trump did get a plane, guess what? It's because people respect him. Foreign nations respect strength. They respect a man who doesn't apologize for America, a man who brought peace deals to the Middle East, who stood toe-to-toe with NATO, China, Iran, and didn't blink. Schumer calls it corruption. I call it diplomatic influence. Trump didn't get walked over by foreign leaders like Biden, is being walked over by the CCP right now. Schumer talks about the FAR unit at the DOJ not doing its job under AG Bondi. What he really means is that the DOJ isn't being weaponized to attack Trump fast enough to fit the Democrat narrative. This is the same party that wants to jail political opponents for memes, but won't touch Hunter Biden for actual criminal activity. And let me ask you this, Senator Schumer. Where was your outrage when Joe Biden was flying his crackhead son to China on Air Force Two to close deals with communist firms? That's actual national security risk. But you're silent on that. Schumer says the plane might not be secure, that it could be a risk if foreign security systems are installed. You mean the same guy who supports TikTok still operating in America? The guy who votes yes on funding foreign wars while leaving our southern border wide open? Give me a break. If Trump wanted to make that jet Air Force One, he'd make sure it was safer than anything the Pentagon could put together, because the man surrounds himself with professionals and believes in American supremacy, not globalist compromise. And now they're suddenly worried about taxpayer money? After printing trillion for Ukraine, student loan forgiveness, gender studies in Pakistan, and green energy scams that go nowhere, now you care about the budget? That's rich. Under Trump, Boeing and other American companies thrived. He kept jobs here. He negotiated. He brought manufacturing back. So don't come crying about Boeing contracts now. We all know the swamp wants to keep their buddies paid. This has nothing to do with what's best for Americans. Let's call it what it is. Schumer is terrified of Trump 2024. They can feel the ground shaking. They know the rallies are growing. The American people are waking up to this double standard. They're tired of the lies, the manipulation, the endless witch hunts. Every time Trump gains momentum, the left throws a new conspiracy, a new investigation, a new indictment. But the more they attack him, the stronger he gets, because they're not just attacking Trump, they're attacking us, the forgotten Americans, the working class, the Patriots. And as for Pam Bondi, she's a fighter. She's not some D.C. bureaucrat. She's a no-nonsense attorney who knows the law and isn't afraid to stand up to the mob. That's exactly why they want her out of the way, because she won't play their corrupt political games. So here's the bottom line. This isn't about a jet. This is about fear. The establishment is terrified of Trump, terrified of patriots rising up, and terrified that they can't control the narrative anymore. We need to stand firm, speak truth, and not let the corrupt elite manipulate us through headlines and baseless accusations. Trump did more for this country in 4 years than the career politicians did in 40. And no plane, no jet, no fake scandal is going to erase that legacy. God bless you. God bless our troops. And God bless the United States of America. If you agree, hit the like button, share this video, and drop a comment with Patriots Rise. We're not backing down. We're just getting started.